I love Star Trek, the original series, but it's time to admit every single season finale was bad. I say this as someone who's spent countless evenings bathed in the warm glow of the Enterprise's bridge, Star Trek. The original series is a masterpiece of television history. It's bold, it's weird, and it's endlessly rewatchable. But there's one uncomfortable truth I've had to make peace with. Every single TOS season finale is bad. Not so bad they're good, not flawed but fun, but genuinely not what the show deserved to end the season on. Let's break down the problem. Season 1. Operation Annihilate. On paper, the idea sounds chilling. The Enterprise visits a planet overrun by neural parasites, flying, brain-invading creatures that can drive people to madness and death. In execution, it's fine. The creatures look like flappy pancakes with googly eyes. Spock gets blinded and then miraculously cured with some questionable medical science, and the whole resolution is rushed. The biggest crime here is missed opportunity. Season 1 had given us Balance of Terror, The City on the Edge of Forever, and Space Seed, episodes dripping with tension, emotional weight, and big ideas. And yet, the season's curtain call is basically Captain Kirk fights space jelly. It's not terrible television, but it feels anticlimactic, especially when the series was capable of operatic finales in earlier episodes. If you were watching week to week in 1967, this would not have been the triumphant send-off you'd hoped for. Season 2. Assignment Earth. If you didn't know better, you'd think Assignment Earth was an entirely different show, and you'd be right. This episode was essentially a backdoor pilot for a series that never happened, starring Gary 7, a mysterious human agent from the future. The Enterprise crew is mostly on the sidelines, observing 1960s Earth events while Gary and his secretary/partner Roberta Lincoln take the lead. The problem? This isn't a Star Trek story. It's a Gary 7 story that happens to have Kirk and Spock awkwardly hanging around like guests at a party who don't know the host. It's not that the concept is bad. Gary 7 could have had his own fun sci-fi series. But as the season finale for one of the most iconic sci-fi shows ever made, it's a bizarre choice. Instead of leaving viewers desperate for Season 3, it left them wondering why Star Trek ended its season advertising a different show. Season 3. Turnabout Intruder. Turnabout Intruder. If Assignment Earth felt disconnected from Star Trek, this finale is memorable for all the wrong reasons. In it, a vengeful woman named Janice Lester swaps bodies with Kirk using alien technology so she can command the Enterprise. The episode is infamous today for its outdated and sexist premise. Women can't be starship captains, something canon has since demolished. Shatner plays Kirk as Lester with over-the-top dramatics, while the rest of the crew stands around in varying states of confusion. What should have been the last hurrah for the original cast instead turned into a campy, awkward episode that ended the show on a whimper. There's no grand farewell, no final mission that defines the spirit of the Enterprise. Just body-swapping melodrama and uncomfortable gender politics. For a series that once explored the nature of humanity with Shakespearean gravitas, this was a disappointing note to go out on. The common problem. When you look at all three finales together, a pattern emerges. None of them feel like finales at all. In the modern TV landscape, we expect season closers to tie up arcs, deliver emotional punches, or raise the stakes for what's to come. Even episodic shows often save a standout script for the last episode before the break. TOS didn't do that. Part of this was the era. In the 1960s, most TV seasons didn't have big finales in the modern sense. Viewers weren't conditioned to expect cliffhangers, and studios weren't worried about binge retention. But even compared to its contemporaries, Star Trek often closed its seasons with middling or oddball episodes. The fact that so many of its truly great installments are sprinkled throughout the middle of seasons shows that episode scheduling wasn't about narrative momentum, but production logistics. Why it matters anyway? You might argue, who cares? The show was brilliant overall. And that's true. I can watch The Doomsday Machine or Amok Time any day and still be floored. But finales matter in hindsight. They become the punctuation marks on a season story. When you revisit TOS, those final episodes feel like stumbles after long stretches of greatness. The frustrating part is imagining what could have been. Imagine if C-Suite